Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Geopolitical Trends. My name is David Oualaalou and it is always good to be with you as always. Poland, yes, whoever thought. Poland blocked the EU package deal that includes $18 billion, 18 billion euros, aid for Ukraine. In this video, I am going to provide you a brief analysis as to what message Poland is sending to the EU and whether this action by Poland exposes the disunity that exists within the EU. But before I'll delve deeper into this, remember to subscribe if you have not done so and hit that notification button so you will be notified every time I upload a new video. I also want to thank the members that have joined the channel. Thank you for your support. It means a lot. And also remember to join me live on December 30th we're going to have a discussion and I will answer some of your questions. And I look forward to that as always. Let's delve deeper into this topic. Poland has refused now to back an EU package, European Union that is, a package deal that would send or release about 18 billion euros in aid for Ukraine. And this is according to 4 unnamed European Union diplomats. First of all, where did the EU come up with this 18 billion euros when they have an energy crunch over there? So, which means the citizens are paying for it, okay? And here's the thing. The refusal also by Poland blocks 2 other unrelated decisions regarding Hungary and due to hesitations regarding separate minimum corporate tax plan. Yeah, there are 2 issues separately. One of them has to do with corporate tax, and the other one has to do with financial aid to Ukraine. And again, you look at the patterns, because who did this before Poland? It was Hungary. And I'm gonna tell you briefly as to how it works out for Hungary and what came out of it. So there is a lot of frustration as we speak with Poland now jeopardizing Ukraine aid by blocking the minimum tax, as one of the diplomats stated, calling the move by Poland, and I put this in quote, another hostage-taking situation, end of quote. You know what he's referring to, or she, this diplomat, is referring to a Hungarian decision that was a couple of weeks ago. And it paid off. I will tell you why in a minute here. So Poland's blocking of the minimum corporate tax rate is also hindering aid to Ukraine. Because if one of those 4 points is vetoed, the whole issue within the EU will not, the whole legislation rather within the EU will not pass. Because if any member vetoed something like that, that's it. It won't go. This is what Hungary did a couple of weeks ago. So the EU members states that the plan to adopt the package deal on December 15th, which is only 2 or 3 days ago. Okay, but Poland requested for an extension now. Yeah, because they are looking after their own interest, and rightly so. But the reason being because Poland, which you don't hear much about it, and I have my own contacts in Poland, and I checked on it. There are about 1 million refugees from Ukraine in Poland, and these refugees are causing havoc inside Poland. So Polish people now are pissed. Why? Because the government of Poland went ahead and provide housing for Ukrainian refugees at the expense of Polish taxpayers. So they're not happy with this. So Polish Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki raised the issue at the meeting of the European leaders in Brussels, which just took place 2 days ago. Although, here's the thing, he raised the issue which was not on the agenda and tells you right there where the issue is. Of course, Western media is not reporting it on this. This is according to some sources inside the EU Parliament. And of course, other diplomats. And I will provide you a link to all this. And like I said earlier, a couple of weeks ago, we all remember what the Prime Minister, Hungarian Prime Minister, Viktor Orban, did, and it paid off. There is only one lesson to be learned from the compromise reached with the EU this week, because the European Union just reached a deal with the Hungarian government. And you know what that compromise reached? Is that blackmail works, because that's what Hungary did, because European Union wanted to block certain financial funds for Hungarians, or the Hungarian government, that is. So with the deal, Hungary now has managed to partly unblock EU payouts in exchange for lifting its veto on an EU aid package to Ukraine and a minimum global corporate tax rate. Yeah, that's why I said there are two issues with this. So after the EU, European Union, threatened to suspend the 7.5 billion euros in funds for Hungary, Budapest vetoed the whole 18 billion euros aid to Ukraine. EU found itself, they can move forward if one member vetoed that legislation. And this is why now, thanks of course to the compromise, the suspended amount of Hungary's funds will be lowered to from 7.5 to 6.3 billion euros, or 18% of the total amount that Hungary is set to receive. It's still good money anyway, but you give Hungarian stand for taking a position that they weren't going to compromise just because the EU was pressuring them. They said, heck no, we are not going to compromise on this. And finally, the EU had to bow and compromise. So the European Parliament finally approved an 18 billion euros micro-financial aid package to Ukraine on December, I think, 15 or 16, which is only a day or two ago. So after striking a deal with the Hungarian government to drop its veto. So Poland is doing the same. But this, you read between the lines, is sending a message to the EU. So, this is why Hungarian government blocking Ukraine aid package to pressure Brussels into releasing the EU funds to Hungary. And why the European Union blocked the funds to begin with? Because they said that Hungary it's not adhering to the European Union democratic values. Go figure. European Union or European parliaments, as a matter of fact, I'm not laughing out of laughing, it's just because it becomes so absurd that each time you will refer to human rights, democratic values, rule of law and all that, when in reality the West is not even following that in itself. So Hungary said, and the issue I believe had to do with the immigration. Hungary said, we don't want any more immigrants here. It's their country, they can decide. So look at Poland now, why it's screwed with over 1 million refugees that now the Polish people have to pay through their tax. Is it fair? No, it's not. I'm not Polish, but I look at it as that's the right decision by the Polish and Hungarian government for that. So. And here's the thing, the EU official who disclosed this information, he said, or she said, that the move is as blackmail tactics, end of quote. And I'm going to provide you a link, of course. The 18 billion euros, by the way, support package aimed to assist Ukraine with paying for essential public services, maintaining macroeconomics, stability, and of course, restoring critical infrastructure that Russia has destroyed completely. But the Western media didn't tell you that part of this money is spent by Zelensky, the president of Ukraine. I call him Comedian Z. President Comedian Z. His wife had just spent 40,000 euros shopping spree in Paris because she went to Paris to advocate for aid to Ukraine. So, no. And I have my own kind. I have a family who lives in France. So I can testify to the accuracy of the information. No. So here is his wife, Comedian Z's wife, going to Paris and spending 40,000 euros shopping spree in Paris. While the European citizens have to give up his or her access to social services to support the Ukrainian government. And this is why it's becoming ridiculous. Will European citizens ever wake up? I think they are starting. Of course, we're not hearing about the recent, as of yesterday, demonstrations in Frankfurt, in Germany. The German government is about to fall soon. By the end of the year, you're going to see something going on. And here is where, to tie it back to our topic here, this is why Poland has refused to support the EU financing of Ukraine in 2023 at this level of 18 billion euros, because it's going to come out of the European taxpayers. And Poland doesn't want its citizens to be paying for this. Mind you that, as I said, Hungary did this. Now even the Czech Republic, the Czech representation in the EU reported that the permanent representatives of the EU countries approved now the introduction of the EU of a minimum tax of 15% on the profits of large corporations. You can just see this is going nowhere. That is why I am here to tell you, that is why some German companies are going to be shutting down by the end of the year. They won't be able to afford these tax hikes, and also they can afford the energy bills. And of course, this tied to the introduction of the so-called global minimum tax among the EU countries, because it was opposed by Poland and then by Hungary, which has, guess what their corporate tax is? 9%. So you can see why. And in retaliation for what Polish did or said about blocking the aid, its police chief was targeted in Warsaw just yesterday. And how was he targeted? Because when he went to Ukraine, he received a gift. He didn't open the gift over in Ukraine. He brought it to Poland. So, well, basically what it was a grenade inside a gift. So the police chief, Poland that is, was injured when a grenade launcher presented to him during a visit to Ukraine reportedly exploded at the police headquarters in Warsaw. And the police chief, his name is Jarosław Szymczak. I hope I pronounce it correctly. Suffered minor cuts and damage to his hearing and was treated in a hospital, while a civilian employee received minor wounds. That just it tells you where things are. Just because Poland refused to back the EU, the chief police received the grenade. No. It's interesting. So here's my question for you for today. Is the EU economic destruction inevitable? Let me repeat. In your opinion, do you believe the EU's economic destruction is inevitable? Make sure to leave me some comments. I would like to read your thoughts about it. And as always, remember, geopolitics impact your daily life in more ways than one. Till next time. Bye-bye.